Hi guys. Oh boy. Today is my lazy day. It's a good thing. I have one load of laundry left to fold. Deliberately held that back just so I'd have something to do. Um, I did my usual having to record this several times. One of them I went off about the mechanic this morning. He annoyed me. Um, he annoyed me hard. But I want to do a quick post because, I'm lazy. And obviously, eating up an hour recording this again and again is my idea of a good time. Forgive me if I look horrid. I'm tired, and that obviously shows. But then again, I've been tired for like the last couple of months, so it's it's getting to be no big surprise. Only this time I'm feeling it. Um, Nothing to do today except that load of laundry to fold. I got everything done yesterday. Here in a little while, I'm going to go pick up my eldest and just veg and watch Arrow. Yeah. Arrow's one of those shows that I said I would never watch because, I'm pretty much, even though I'm not a comic book freak, my mom was. And as much as I don't like to listen to my mom on just about anything else, I do know she's an expert when it comes to comics and comic heroes. And yet, for some reason, even she gave her approval of Arrow, and I just couldn't. A lot of it was the guy who played Oliver Queen originally, I really liked in Smallville. But I can see the reason why they changed him out. They're doing one about Arrow set in his city. I approve. Guy's a fantastic actor. Of course, part of what drew me to the show is the fact that Being Human Series 5 was the end of Being Human, United Kingdom. And that kind of, I was upset about that. I just get used to these guys and you take them away from me again. It was a good finale, but I realized, I need something else to procrastinate with. So, Arrow is it. I kind of was sold also by the list of actors. Paul Blackthorne, big selling point for me. He played Harry Dresden, and though I picture Dresden as taller, a little bit thinner, kind of like the guy on the cover, a little less Rambo, but I don't know, a little more Killy from The Hobbit, the guy who also plays Mitchell from Being Human UK. I picture more him and less Paul Blackthorne, but of course, they probably couldn't get the guy who plays Mitchell. But he was a fantastic Dresden and very, very convincing. And, I kind of like Paul Blackthorne. And then there's the fact, Katie Cassidy played Ruby 1.0 in Supernatural. And she's actually a fantastic actress. It's really been a pleasure to see her in something else. She really does a gorgeous job. And then we have John Barrowman. A major selling point in my book. Any day of the week. And actually the main reason why I went ahead, broke down and watched this show. Tori and my mom trying to convince me to watch the show kind of helped cave me, along with Being Human ending and, John Barrowman. How can anybody resist anything with John Barrowman in it? Barrowman's just, he's fabulous. I adore him. But I'm enjoying it so far, and it is a good way to procrastinate and not write. Speaking of fandom, Tarina, I'm wearing the shirt. B, I wore your shirt the other day, the one that you gave me, the 11 Doctors silhouette shirt. Love it. And like I said, new shirts are a big thing in my world. The only thing I was supposed to do today, besides the laundry, was I was supposed to go to the mechanic, and I did. I turned in the spark plugs this morning to AutoZone. Don't know why they gave me 6. They actually informed me this is the dealership. I'm like, wait, I thought that was like a package of 2 and then 2 more. And they're like, no, it's 6 here. I was like, oh, okay, there I get for not paying attention. So they probably assumed that I'm some dumb bimbo because I had like 6 spark plugs for a car, which even I know cars only take 4. I don't know, unless it's like one of these new special cars. Cars only take 4 spark plugs. So, you know, it's kind of cool. I took it in there and got a discount because I didn't bring my receipt, which is another first for me and shows how obviously how tired I am. I always bring receipts. So they couldn't give me, you know, my money back, but they gave me a store credit, and I went ahead and used that store credit to look into how much a coil tower cost. And it was only $80. And by the time I got done with using my store credit, I only paid like $55 for a coil tower. So in the end, just not a bad deal. Took it to the dealership, and I completely forgot it's Friday, which means everybody and their brother is there. That's Fridays for you. So I walked in there, and I'm like, okay, I can't hang out a couple of hours, so I made an appointment for 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, which means I have to be up even earlier than I normally am, which is loads of fun for me. As you can see, just the utter joy in my face. So 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, I'm getting my coil tower put in. Now, when I made the appointment, I told the guy I have the tower sitting in the car. He rolled his eyes at me. I mean, no, he rolled his eyes at me. I'm not going to go off on a rant because that's what I did earlier. I ate up like 10 minutes worth of time just going off on a rant. But I know the reason why. You're talking about the chick who brought in 6 spark plugs the other day and insisted they replace the spark plugs in her car, which, you know, they said it's not spark plugs, which, you know, how do I know? When the car sits at a stoplight and does this, I only know of 2 things that do that. Fuel pump, spark plugs. But the coil tower, which, you know, helps operate the spark plugs, I didn't think about that. But it makes sense. And once again, it's tied to the ignition system. So, you know, my car does this, and I have to wait for it to run through its rotation of smoothing, you know, smoothing out, doing fine, and then hitching before I depress the gas pedal. I know it has something to do with the ignition system. So, yeah, I brought in 6 spark plugs, and that did it. But, in my favor, I told them that all my brake lights went out at the same time, and told them it's just my lights. I mean, they were there 2 weeks ago, then all of a sudden for the last 2 weeks I'm getting tailgated worse than usual. I don't want to get hurt. And they said they'd look it over. Well, they couldn't find the problem. They said they were going to look at some type of converter or something, some type of switch in the back. And I was like, okay, go ahead, knock yourself out. Well, they still couldn't find the problem. And I told them, I'm like, whether or not I get, you know, anything else worked on today, I have to have my brake lights. That's just all there is to it. I swear it's just the brake lights. One went out, the rest followed. It's a Sunfire. You know, I may not know much about cars, but I do know Sunfires are bad for electrical systems. I know enough people who've owned them. I own one right now, and I've owned one for the last 11 years. And so far, you know, the car's lasted about 5 years longer than she's supposed to. And I know a little bit about her systems. One blew, the rest of them blew. And they're like, that's not possible. There is a default that if one goes, the rest of them are not supposed to go. And I said, well, it's a Sunfire. We've had something like this happen before. One went out, they all went out at the same time. It could have been an electrical surge. I don't know what it was, but that's what it is. Sure enough, guy comes back 45 minutes later and is like, I just feel stupid. I just went ahead, got frustrated, and checked the brake lights, and all the bulbs are blown. There you go. So, the brake lights that I brought in to replace the bulbs that I knew were blown, they went ahead and put them in, and they only charged me like half an hour's worth of labor. Which is good, because we were there for like an hour and 15 minutes, 45 of which they were trying to prove me wrong. I can't say I blame them. I mean, chick walks in with all this stuff and says, put this in my car. You know, obviously she can't work on it herself. That does not automatically make me stupid. But I think what they think automatically makes me stupid are these. It's got to be my tits. I mean, I really don't have that much, but obviously the fact that I'm a chick, it works against me. Never mind the fact they actually had to put the brake lights in that I told them they had to put in. I have tits. But I think that's not even really the whole problem right there. I brought in 6 spark plugs. I'm a chick. The spark plugs weren't the problem. I'm a chick. And then there's the fact that I went and got the stuff from around the corner at AutoZone and brought it to them. Now, I've been dealing with mechanics for a while now. I do know that half your problem when it comes to cars and going to mechanics is the fact that they jack the prices on the actual parts. I'm poor. In case nobody has caught this little clue. I'm poor. I know there are plenty of people out there who have the money and don't really want to hassle with it, that go to a mechanic and just buy their parts. Awesome for them. I got a $80 part for $55 after I got done returning spark plugs I didn't need. And it's an $80 part. It's not a $130 part. I already know by the time I get done with the mechanic, not only will it be a $130 part, if not more. Usually it's like, take the price, double it. Which would make about a $160 part. I just can't afford that. But I know that's how a lot of these mechanics and these dealerships make their money, off their parts. Not just labor. The labor goes to the mechanic. The part is what they're selling. So I know he was pissed off about that. Thus, bringing in 6 spark plugs, being a chick, bringing in my own parts to begin with, and then doing it again. Yeah, that ticked him off. Thus the eye roll. Either which way, I offered to let him look at the part, which he declined. Because I told him I went out of my way to get a 2003 Sunfire 2.4 milliliter engine Coil tower. It has the 2 little things on it. So, you really didn't have anything to say after that. So today I am hanging out and watching Arrow until I have to go pick up my eldest. And then after I pick up my eldest, I'm going to hang out and watch Arrow because there's no homework that I have to do with him today. They can go outside and, have killed themselves or whatever while I hawk them every 5 minutes. And I'm going to fold laundry, 1 piece at a time, every 5 minutes. Because my husband didn't eat his dinner last night, so the kids and I are going to have a cheat. Because I'll be damned if I'm actually going to go out of my way to fix something complicated. That is my day. This is my lazy post. I feel sorry for anybody who actually sat through this. There are cookies at the end of it. Don't try to grab them through your screen. This is not WonkaVision. Sorry for how horrid I look. I look like this all the time now. Hopefully will not be subjected to this again anytime soon. But for those of you who are crazy and seem to like that, maybe one day within the next month I'll do another post because I feel lazy. Until then, take care of yourselves, be good to each other, and know that I love each and every one of you. Talk to you later, guys.